Hello there, my name is Brother Sean, and I'm a member of the Teo community of interspiritual Franciscans. Not your conventional Franciscans who embrace the Christ as a Christian, but as a brother who follows in the footsteps of Francis, who embraces all faiths and none, as Francis did in the 12th century. But the topic for this short video is about the field of dreams. For those of you who may not know about the vision that Francis and Jesus gave to my heart back in April 2008, we were guided to set up a lay monastic community where a group of men and women with like-minded friends who are not monks or monastics to come and live together in the field of dreams. But over the last few days, I have been doing some soul searching and discerning myself. And I just find in my heart that the field of dreams already exists within us. Why would I say that? Well, if we have surrendered our heart to the Supreme, and we are living a simple life, and spreading love, light and blessing and forgiveness to those whom we meet in the workplace, or as monastics living the simple life as a contemplative from our own home, whether we're a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Sikh, a Christian, a Jew, whatever, then isn't that the field of dreams? And although, yes, to have a large group of us living together in a place called the Franciscan Abbey of Peace and Compassion, that would be magnanimous, but I feel that we need to come back into our heart. And having some members of our community stay with us, it sort of brings things home and you have a sense of clarity. Because up until a few days ago, we've been searching and searching for discernment. We've been looking at places. Could this be the field of dreams? And certain places have been blocked because they've not been part of God's plan for us. And though on a human level we may have felt disheartened, distracted, down in the mouth maybe, but then it came to me as I sat here quietly that the field of dreams already exists, not just in the etheric realm, but in our heart. In a heart that has surrendered itself to love. And God is love. And that field of dreams is how you and I live our life, how we speak our truth. So I would like us to just reflect a little bit more on the field of dreams that was planted as a seed in our womb, in our soul, in our higher self, before we were born, before we incarnated in this lifetime. And I believe now with such conviction that in the presence of God, that seed was planted in our soul's DNA. And that when we came into this incarnation, that field of dreams grew through kindergarten, through junior high school. And as we make our way through this beautiful world, the Cathedral of God, Mother Nature is nourishing that field within us by providing for us the foods and fruits, the elements that keep us grounded, safe, protected. So there's a spiritual field of dreams already in existence, and that is my understanding. And when we come into prayer, to silence, when we reflect, then we're entering our field of dreams. God's field of dreams. We're embracing God's vision for us as an individual soul who seeks harmony, balance, and divine connectedness. And that makes sense, don't you think? Because to have a field of dreams that we can see and move and live in with a lot of other people, brothers and sisters of like mind from different faiths, if we haven't already cultivated the seed that was planted before we were born and experienced the healing properties and the nourishment from Gaia, Mother Earth, and from the Divine Feminine, then we're bringing into the real field of dreams very little. We're going to play out a role, and it's going to have no real impact on our spiritual life. So I believe it's important to accept that once we have surrendered our heart to the Supreme, the field of dreams within us becomes an oasis, an inner sanctum that meets all our needs, all our needs. And that when the time is right to join a larger family, our extended spiritual family, then we can bring into that community a sense of ownership, a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Being here. And I feel that that is so important, because though the world is a beautiful place that God has made and Gaia provides for us, many have lost their way. Many are reaching for things like materialism, fame, success. They're feeding an ego that's destroying that inner voice of spirit that's trying to replenish our interior field of dreams. And within that field of dreams, it brings to us not disquiet and anxiety, but it brings to us an inner acceptance that whatever happens, we are okay, and that all will be well. And we take to heart the words of Jesus, the barefoot Galilean, the risen cosmic Christ. Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I am with them. Well, there are 2 of us here. There's you and there's me. And we're sharing with one another our love of an acceptance that within us is the field of dreams. And when we make time to nurture, to nourish, to provide for the needs of the spiritual soul, then it will bear fruit. For example, if you buy a packet of seeds from your garden centre, say for example, you want to grow some tomatoes, well, you've got to buy the little seed unless you want to buy a plug plant that's already been germinated and is growing for you. But if you really want to get the seed, then you have to follow those instructions very carefully, haven't you? And you place it in a compost made of grit. You water it, you see it germinate, and then you pick out the strongest of the shoots and you place it in a smaller compartment so that it gains lots of roots. Whereas if you put it in a very big pot, the roots go everywhere and it's not very strong for the plant. So you need to compact the roots. And so it is with the interior life and the field of dreams that's already within us. We have a duty of care to it, to receive the peace of God and to allow the soul hear the voice of Spirit speak to us. And we feed it through prayer, through silence, through meditation. And that creates a sense of wanting to share from our heart, not only to God, but to those of our family and friends, and to those who come up to us and ask us to support them, maybe work colleagues, maybe a passers-by on the street or the highway. Or maybe we can sit quietly and pray for the world. There may be disquiet in a part of the world that needs healing. From within that interior field of dreams, we are actually living our life purpose, and we will then know who we are and why we are here. Thank you.